Hello everyone, welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show we are going to have John. John is from North Carolina in the USA. So let's see what John has to say. Enjoy the interview. Hello?
Hello.
Great! Oh my god, who's that?
This is Bex. She's my cat.
Let me see her.
Be a part of it.
Amazing. How old is she?
She is just a few months old. She's about 10 months old.
Oh, amazing, amazing. Oh, she's sweet.
She's pretty wild. She was a stray when my housemate found her outside of her work and ended up adopting her along with our other two cats. So.
John, before we start the game, just tell me where you're from.
I'm from North Carolina. I've been here since I was 5 years old.
Uh-huh. And which city in North Carolina?
Winston-Salem, North Carolina. That's where I currently am.
I see. And what's the best part of living there, in your opinion?
The best part of living here is really, you get a good mix of city life with a lot of rural areas around you, and it's centrally located in North Carolina. So if you want to escape to the mountains or the beach, you're kind of in the middle of all of those things, so it doesn't take too long to get to any of those places.
I see. And what do you do for a living, John?
I'm a nurse.
Oh my God, amazing. Oh, wow. And what's the best part of being a nurse? What do you like the most about your job?
The thing I like most about my job is the fact that I have purpose with what I do. I feel like every time I'm going into work, I'm getting meaning out of my job, and it's not just checking in and checking out, you know?
I see. Great. Right. So just before we start our journey, William the Magic Box, just tell me something interesting about yourself.
Something interesting about myself. I'm not good at talking about myself. It's like a job interview. I don't know. I would say I am really into Dungeons and Dragons right now, which isn't interesting to everybody. But for my fellow nerds out there, I'm really into that right now. I like to draw, so I do a lot of artwork related to the fantasy world.
I see. Right. So, are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and to share your point of views?
Yeah.
Very good. So, welcome to William and the Magic Box. So, I've got here my lovely box full of random questions. Okay, I'm just gonna play a song now, just for us to move a little bit before the first question. Okay.
All right. Sounds good.
Let's do it.
Let me pause for a second. I'll have to get my cat out of the room. She's enjoying the laptop too much, as you can tell. She's and very social.
Right, John. So just let you know, through the game, if there is a question that you don't have an answer for, you don't want to answer, always can change. Okay, it's all very friendly, right? Great. So the first question is, do you have any lucky number? And what's that?
Uh, so I um I have something called obsessive compulsive disorder. So, which is a general anxiety disorder, and along with that comes some like fixations on certain things like numbers. So I've always like been drawn to certain numbers, and I'd say probably the number 13, because typically it's seen as unlucky, but you know, for some people they feel like it is a lucky number, and that's one I've always felt like is a lucky number I look out for too. So
Very interesting, and I'll tell you why. I consider 13 as well my lucky number, and actually not just 13, but every number with three, like 3, 13, 23, or third. So all the numbers together with three.
yeah.
I always had this connection, and even I had a meet with astrology a long time ago, a few years ago, and this person told me like, "Oh, your lucky number is 3," and I said to him, I said, "I knew it even before you tell me that. I already felt it, this connection 3, 13, or 23." So I know what you mean. I think it's you don't choose it; you just happen naturally. Your connection.
Exactly. Maybe that's how you found me. We've got the same lucky number.
Absolutely. Next question. Let's do it. Right. Next question for you is, what is your funniest memory of a date that you had?
Well, so I just got out of a relationship of 10 years.
Oh, wow.
So haven't been on a lot of dates, but the first date I went on afterward was intended to be a friend date, you know, like low pressure, let's see what happens, you know, and it was with a guy named, which immediately made me think of the Dixie Chicks song, Earl Has to Die. And I thought that was funny. You know, I shared that with him on the date, and the date was just supposed to be like a movie. We talked a little bit before the movie started, and he started grilling me about my relationship and why it ended. And he started like insulting the clothes that I was wearing, and like,
Oh my God.
how could you wear those shorts? You know, like things like that. And then throughout the entire movie, he kept poking me inside, like he was trying to flirt, but didn't know how to flirt. And then about halfway through the movie, he just let a silent killer out and passed gas. And I know it was him because it was a matinee and we were in the movie theater alone. And I was like, wow, he really just did that to me. So by the end of the date, I tried to like keep, you know, giving him a chance, but then by the end of the date, he was still like telling me like, yeah, you know, like I'm not trying to be an asshole. I'm just honest. And I was like, okay, well the Dixie Chicks song is playing in my head again, so.
Sometimes too honest can be a bit, you know what I mean, not a good place to, you know what I mean, to express yourself sometimes. Even though in that first date, come on, you don't need to, you know, to be that expressive or put the person in an awkward moment, you know what I mean, uncomfortable.
Yeah, it was really aggressive. So.
Wow. Anyway, part of the journey, we always learn and have story to tell. That's what counts.
Yeah, exactly.
Next question, John. Let's do it. Before the next question, tell me, what's the most challenging part of your job, in your opinion?
I think the most challenging part of my job as a nurse, I work in a neuro ICU setting. And our patients can be really limited. They're very sick. They need their care managed. And there's a lot of different avenues that we have to kind of pull all the communication for our patients. So we're communicating with providers and upset family members, and we're trying to assess these patients extremely frequently to make sure that they don't have any declines. And we have speech therapists and respiratory therapists, and we're kind of the middleman for all of those things. So we really just have to be aware of all of these resources and be like the medium for the network of communication to make sure our patients get out of this. And you know, when you're in the ICU, if you are alert and oriented, you know, you're not in the best place. So we have to emotionally support our patients, and we have to emotionally support their family members and those that are there to support them and advocate for them. And we really have to be their main advocate. So
I see. Right. Next question for you is, what are you most passionate about?
I'd say I'm really most passionate about I'm really most passionate about my work right now, just because I am a new nurse, and I started during the pandemic, like right before COVID-19 kind of blew up around the world. I was a new grad in orientation, and so it's been a really crazy ride, but I really enjoy the work I do. And you know, I'd like to find a better work-life balance, and I'd like to do some more traveling now that I'm in a position to be able to do that a little bit more. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now.
Good. I think it's when you do what we love, what's the area, what you feel like, I think it's a gift when we can do something that we don't feel like working, feel like we are just having a great time and enjoy and facing challenge. I think that's what's love what we do, it's about.
Yeah.
Enjoy. Absolutely. Next question, John. Let's do it.
I said you got to dance with those hands.
Thank you. Next question for you is, what bores you?
What bores me?
Yeah.
I think what bores me is negativity. Because you know, you'll hear people say that all the time, like, oh, I'm bored, like, what are you doing? I'm bored. Or like, I'm not up to much, I'm bored. And that kind of like goes into that idea of like negativity. And if you're like focused on the negatives all the time, and like all you have to say is to complain, then you know, you're not really going to have a lot of fun or enjoy things around you. So like, boring people get bored, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's funny to deal with those situations, because you can see the negativity there and you go like, oh my God, why why you need to go through this path? It can be boring. Next one, let's do it. For the next question, as Christmas just gone now, and of course a new year just arriving very soon, what's the meaning of Christmas for you, or what's your approach about Christmas? And start a new year, do you kind of person that's always make like new goals or new resolutions? What's your take on that?
So for me, holiday is really like about reflecting on the year and enjoying those memories and sharing with family and people that you don't get to see very often. And also just to see maybe like what you were lacking in the last year, and like that's where those resolutions come from. You know, I was thinking about it a lot recently. You know, time is sort of, you know, like a human creation to a certain extent, you know, like it's sort of existential. And we have this calendar year, and the great thing about having it is that at the beginning of the year, at the new year, you feel like you get a fresh start. You feel like you get to start over. And, you know, without that, like we were talking about before, like you can get bogged down in the negativity and feel like, okay, well, you know, this is just how things are and it's how it's going to be. But having that mental break of like, okay, this is the new year, we're going to start out fresh. That's an important part of the holiday season too.
Absolutely. Next question, John, let's do it. Would you rather be invisible or be able to fly, and what would you do?
If I had to choose between flight or invisibility?
Yes.
Man, I would definitely have to choose flight. You know, whether or not that be like the Superman flying without the wings or angel wings, whatever, you know, that would be something I would have a hard time passing up. Maybe it's the like adrenaline seeker in me, but being invisible, I mean, like, you could be really stealthy and that might be fun too, but that might get a little bit boring. So I think I'd have to choose fly.
And if you could, let's say that for now on you have the power of flying, where would you go right now if you could fly?
Where would I go right now? Probably somewhere sunny and warm, because it's a little bit dreary outside right now. We've had some unseasonably warm winter weather here in North Carolina, but the rest of the week it's going to be kind of rainy and cold. So I'd love to escape to some kind of tropical paradise.
Wow, would be good during this winter time.
Yeah.
Next one. John from North Carolina. Next question for you is, if you could be in somebody's skin for 24 hours, who that would be and why?
Somebody else's skin. I don't know. You know, I feel like I'm a very empathetic person, but I also don't feel like you can really know what it's like to be someone unless you really do put yourself in their shoes. You know, like they say the grass is always greener on the other side. So maybe I'd like to like disprove that, and I'd put myself in like a celebrity's point of view and see if it is, or if, you know, money does cause more problems. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe a Jake Gyllenhaal, or yeah.
Interesting, just to see what's going on in their minds with the process of their lives.
Yeah, see what that perspective is like, from you know, like that, when you have like kind of everything at your fingertips, like does money buy happiness? I don't know.
That's true. Next one. All right, so regarding about being gay, did you always have the support of your family?
I grew up in sort of just a regular middle class America, and you know, my family, my dad was in the Air Force, and my mom was from up north in a similar like family. Her dad was in the military as well. And, I grew up hearing a lot of like negative things about gay people, about, the LGBTQ community. And it's not like something that I had to deal with to the extent of a lot of my peers, where they would go to church and they would hear sermons from community leaders about how they're going to hell. I got a taste of that, obviously, from others around me. But I would say when I came out, my family was like lukewarm about it. They didn't embrace the idea, but they didn't write me off either. But as far as like it being supportive, it's really hard to grow up for like 18 years. I didn't come out until I went to college. But it's hard to feel like you've been supported when you hear derogatory things about something that is you for most of your life.
I see. I think all of us being gay, I think it doesn't matter how you've been raised, doesn't matter how your family it's supportive or not, but all of us, we go through that moment in our lives that we don't know what's happening, if it's right, if it's wrong, the information is out there. I think nowadays the information is more, visible. I think people now talking about with the modernity, the internet, I think all the information is out there. But back in the time, I think it was a bit harder to deal with that because there are not many information out there. We need to find our own way to get the information from. So I understand your point for sure. This question for you is, if you had only 24 hours of life, what would you do?
I would stop worrying about saving up money to pay off student loans, and I would take that money and I would travel, take myself to one of those tropical paradises, or I would travel and see places that I haven't seen yet. I have a passport that is sadly pretty bare, so I'd like to put a couple of stamps on there before I had to, leave this world, I guess.
Very good, very good. Next question, ready?
Yeah.
Let's do it, John. Oh, I can see some moves. Very good, very good.
No box though, but.
Next question for you is, what is the biggest prize you ever won?
Growing up, I really liked poetry, and I wrote some poems that got published in just like a local collection for the school, and that was
wow.
Cool. But I think the biggest prize that I ever won was just hearing my parents say that they were proud of me when I graduated from school. I was the first one in my family to graduate with a bachelor's degree, and while that's not like super impressive to maybe like a large population of people, it was a big deal at the time. And now I have another degree in nursing, and they were proud of me then too, but it was just a big accomplishment for me, like coming from a family that had not had the highest level of education, and like doing that myself and accomplishing that without having that background and the insight from my family on how to navigate that world. It was a big accomplishment at the time, and just feeling my parents really mean like how proud they were of me at that time.
Good, very sweet. I think they're gonna be even more prouder after watching this interview. Next question. Before the next one, and what's the most challenging part of living in your city?
The most challenging part of my city?
Yeah.
I think that the most challenging part of living in this city is just seeing things change, people don't naturally embrace change all the time. But I've been here for about 10 years and I've seen some good things happen, as far as like new businesses. But there's just like a lot of historical buildings that have been taken down and a lot of additional like housing and upscale apartments that have been put up. And the cost of living has like skyrocketed, So I think when I first came to Winston-Salem, it was one of the best, considered like one of the best places, one of the better cities to move to for the opportunity versus the cost of living. And now the cost of living has gone up so much without a like big benefit or like, the reasons for that increase of cost of living. So, yeah, I would say that's probably like the biggest challenge in the area is just seeing those kind of changes and it being different than, what was here in the past. So.
I see. All right. Next question for you is, what is your favorite kitchen smell?
Wow, like the first thing that comes to mind is fresh baked cookies. But I'm a garlic fan too, so like if there's like a good like gravy or tomato sauce with like that aroma of like garlic and fresh bread baking, like that is always just like sit down and feed me, right?
I love cookies. I think the best when this come out of the oven, like fresh cookies. Oh. John, I have 3 questions left for you, okay? Let's do it. Right, before the next question, people there like watching this interview or would you like to start a career as a nurse in the medicine field? What would be your best piece of advice for those people?
It's going to be harder than you think it is, but you can do it. I'm a firm believer that if you're scared, do it, challenge yourself. You never know until you try, like all of these different platitudes, right? But it's true, that comes from somewhere. You might be scared to do it and think that it's out of your wheelhouse. It was for me. I came from a graphic art world and went into nursing, and like I didn't have any kind of background in medicine at all. So it was a big challenge. It emotionally like put me through the ringer. Be prepared to be steadfast in what you want and keep pushing because you can get there, but don't underestimate it.
Good one. Next question for you is, what would be your ideal day?
My ideal day. My ideal day is probably waking up with snuggles from one of my pets and smelling some coffee brewing and having someone that I love bring me a cup of coffee in bed and just laughing and joking and planning out our day and like I said before, you know, like boring people get bored. So like any mundane thing that I can do throughout the day without like having the anxiety of, you know, like money or work or anything like that, and just getting to spend time with someone that I love, you know, that's the ideal day.
Simplicity, that's what the best days are, when there's simplicity around. I totally agree. Yeah. 2 questions left. Let's do it. Next question for you is, which talent do you wish you had?
You know, I wish I was more musically talented. You know, you can't like do the full body dancing on here. Like, I feel like I have a little bit of like white boy rhythm, but as far as like dancing, but like singing or playing an instrument, I played trumpet in 6th grade, and that was about as far as I got. I just am not talented in reading music or playing music, and I wish I could do that. Like, you know, belt out some notes on stage and actually not cause people to cry.
Funny. Right, ready for the last one?
Yeah, do it.
Let's do it, Joe. Let's do it. Right, before the last question, of course, let's see, since 2020, when the world, you know, went upside down regarding the COVID situation, and of course, you being a nurse, I'm sure you had a lot of challenge time, you know what I mean, still having a lot of challenge time regarding that. But what's the most positive, let's say, lesson or approach that so far you took out of this challenge journey?
You know, I think the biggest lesson that I've learned is to, again, like be steadfast in your beliefs, you know, to know you're doing the right thing, and you can't always change other people's minds, but I see a lot of negativity and a lot of fighting and bashing and attempts at humiliating people that don't agree with you online and just in everyday life. And I am a firm believer in killing something with kindness. You know, like it can be a challenge to confront negativity with love or compassion, but I feel like that's when you have the most success. And then hopefully you have a support system that you can go and you can, you know, vent and say all those things that you wanted to say that you couldn't say to that person because you knew it wasn't the right thing to do. Not everything that we say that comes to our mind is something that we should say. And sometimes you need to speak up, but you know, like you still have to meet people halfway, meet them with compassion, and I feel like that's how you can change minds and open minds.
Absolutely. I just signed down your statements. I totally agree with what you just said. Last question is, I love this question. If you could give just one advice to your current president, what that would be?
Oh, wow. I would say, you know, my best advice to our current president, I feel like it's so outside of, like, that reality is so outside of what I live through. And you hear, depending on the media source that you're listening to, you hear such a variety of different things. You know, it's all super negative or, you know, kind of mediocre, but I would say just hold on to your ideals, you know, don't listen so much to like the backlash, but you know, focus on the people and what we need and keeping us safe and secure, and rather than compounding the hate, which I feel like we have been through over the previous 4 years, keep working on trying to build bridges instead of burn bridges.
See.
Maybe that's really general, but
No, it's your genuine thought about it. So there we go. It's not the end yet, okay? Let's play now the word association game. I'm going to give away some words and just tell one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking.
Okay.
Let's start with family.
Mom.
Money.
Green.
How about love?
My ex.
Oh, sweet, sweet. One word for life.
Wow, okay. Nature.
Okay. Sex.
Men.
Politics.
Liberal.
Religion.
To each their own.
Fear.
Alone.
Friendship.
Warmth.
Desire.
Men.
I could see your look like, man.
Yeah. Are we allowed to duplicate answers?
Of course. One word for regrets.
Future.
Okay. Success.
I would say love.
Wish.
Peace.
Happiness.
My dog.
Oh, sweet. One word for North Carolina.
A country.
USA. One word.
Crazy.
And the last one now, nurse. One word.
It would have to be compassion for that one.
Beautiful, beautiful. Let's pretend now I'm going to meet your best friend for a coffee, and I'm going to ask your best friend, what is the most beautiful thing about John? And what's something that he still needs to improve on, to work on? What do you think your best friend will tell me?
I think my best friend would tell me, or would say that the most, I guess the best thing about me is how much I care about my friends, the loyalty I have toward them, and hopefully the support that I give them. But I would say the thing that I would probably say I need to improve on is insecurity, maybe. Being unsure of myself at times.
Some work in progress?
Yeah, definitely a work in progress. Like I said, if you're scared, just keep pushing toward it, challenge yourself, and that's what I try to do.
Good, very good. Let's play now John and the Magic Box, and you can ask me a question. Okay, John, you can ask me a question now.
So, I thought about this a little bit, and I was, I didn't want to ask you something about the show because I I'm sure you get a lot of questions about the show, but I was curious, and this is really general and open to your own interpretation, but what is one thing that you want to share that maybe you haven't been able to share with your audience yet?
First of all, I love the question. I already had done almost 500 people around the globe, and no one asked this question yet. Good, very good. Right, John. I think it's a very good question. Actually, I could tell you so much, but it's something that I'm kind of letting the people around the world. It's sharing their experience in life. I think people out there, they have so much to share. They have so much, I think the human being, we are so interesting that there's so much, and I think something that's, again, every single day is just giving the opportunity for people out there to see that they're not alone. There's always someone else facing the same challenge as you or already did in the past, or maybe sharing the same best memories ever had in your life. Sometimes you had these beautiful moments in your life, said, oh my God, I just, you know what I mean? So there are so many people as well around there sharing the same positivity or negativity or challenge. So I think what again the most about doing this show, it's that people, they are so fascinating, and they're not alone out there. It's just to sometimes it's comforting to see somebody else talking about something that maybe we never talked about, or maybe we are afraid to share, or maybe you are shy to express ourselves. And sometimes when you hear someone sharing this story, it comforts you and encourages you as well to be, to express yourself or to be in a better place. So I think the most positive thing about the show is about that. It's about letting people be themselves. Just be themselves and connect with other people as well. And I realize that we are vulnerable, and other people can be as well. And you're not alone out there. You know what I mean? So that's the whole thing about the show.
I love it. I know you started this around the time of shutdowns around the world, and connectivity is such an important piece, and not only just like trying to be positive, but also being realistic about how you're feeling and having an avenue to share those thoughts is really important. Absolutely.
And sometimes, as I said to you, sometimes we think that we are very strong, you can deal with things, you know what I mean? But it's okay to be vulnerable as well. And it's okay for you to, to be vulnerable and see that we are here to, to lead life, and to see that you're not alone out there, or we are here to share in life, to take the journey and to appreciate the journey, you know what I mean? And just go day by day, live day by day. That's what it's about. Did you have a good time? Did you enjoy the interview?
Yeah, it was great. I was nervous about it. Like I said, I've not really done an interview aside from a work interview, so for a job interview. But it was kind of a chance meeting, and I'm glad I took the chance. So yeah.
Absolutely. It's fun you saying that, John, because a lot of people, when I invite them online, the same way I invited you as well, and sometimes they say the same things, and really, I never did something like that, and I challenge myself. As you said before, sometimes you just, even if you feel scared, go feeling scared, because sometimes there is so many beautiful things out there that you know what I mean? If you don't give the little step, you're never going to find out. So thank you so much. Thanks for I'm so glad that you took this chance, and I'm so fortunate to connect with you. I think, you know what I mean, you are so transparent. You're talking about your relationship, about your point of views, about your career, and I think I'm so fortunate to connect with people out there, and you know what I mean, they are so transparent and nice and beautiful. So I think that's the good part. Thanks so much for being part of the show. But before that, I would like to share a positive message, a positive quote, something that inspires in life.
So I was just saying, a positive message that I would like to share is this mantra that my mom kind of promoted with me. Like, I would call her and I'd be upset or feel overwhelmed. She'd remind me to like reel it back in and take one thing at a time. So focus on one thing at a time. And sometimes it's all you can do. And if you do one thing at a time, that's better than standing still.
Very good. Very good. John, it was a pleasure. Thanks so much. Enjoy your day. Happy New Year. I hope you start this new year now with a lot of positivity, a lot of goals, and I hope everything goes right with you. Thank you so much for the interview. I appreciate it, okay?
Thank you. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Have a great day. Bye-bye. Bye.
So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, to share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why you'd like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye bye, see you next time.